Hi, Passionators. I'm back. It's been a while, so I decided to come back and see you all while I've still got a few more minutes of daylight out here in this cold. But it's been colder, so I suppose I should be encouraged by that. But I just thought I'd stop by and talk about what I wrote in the title section for a minute because again, while I was out and about, I overheard some other people's conversations. Hi, Tony. Good to see you. I overheard some other people's conversations who were talking to and about their mates. And hi, Cheryl, and not so favorably. So I wanted to talk about an assumption that I hear very often, an assumption that I was guilty of making myself many times, and that I continue to see and hear in other people. And that assumption is that in the house and in the heart are the same thing, and they're not. Just because, hi Maurice, just because you have a mate who is sharing keys and sharing an address and maybe even sharing a bed with you does not mean that you are in their heart or that they are in yours. I see, and I know you see it too, I see a lot of people, especially on social media where pictures are the rule, where you see people who look great in pictures. You see couples who look fabulous in pictures. So fabulous, in fact, that they make you think, oh my gosh, that's what I want my marriage. I want my relationship. I want me and my boo to be just like them. Well, that may not be what you actually want. I'll use an example from my own experience. I was counseling with a gentleman probably 2 weeks ago, and he made, no, it was longer than that. It was longer than that, but he made a comment that stuck with me. He said that if someone had an overhead camera over the bed where he and his wife slept, that nobody would believe they even knew each other, never mind that they were married. In the same house, not in the same heart. And if you want your relationship to last and not just endure it, but to really enjoy it, you have to have both. So many of us put so much effort into getting a relationship where they come home. A lot of us even brag about it. Well, at least I've got a woman. At least I have a man. Do you? Do you really? Typically, when people have to resort to saying that or even thinking that, the primary reason is because they're not really sure about that. They're sure that they come in the door every night, but they're not really sure about how strong their relationship is. They're not really sure that that person is still coming home because there's nowhere else that they would rather be. They're not really sure that if their partner could choose to walk away with no negative consequences, that they wouldn't choose to walk away. They're not really sure. And that's why they bluster and they boast and they do all of those things and pretend like they're sure. And they make it look good in pictures. They smile a lot. When they're with their mate in pictures, they're cute couples. And they appear to have it all together because that's the way they want it to appear. But when I tell you that once they put down their phones and stop posting those pictures, and it's actually time to go to sleep, a lot of them are putting themselves to sleep, staring at the ceiling with the tears in their ears. And the only sound they hear is the sound of their heart breaking. And they are wondering how in the wide world they ended up there, because it started out so much different. It started out so great. Josh, hi. Oh my goodness, I just saw you. It started out so great. All the promise and all the romance and all the affection and all the dreams, all the plans, all of that. It started out so great and it felt so amazing, and there was so much hope. And then you fast forward 5 years, if it takes that long. Fast forward 10 years or 20 years. Between 20 and 30 years is usually pretty crucial for long-term couples, because those couples who've been together for that length of time, they're usually the couples that built their lives together. You know, they got together when they were really young, and then they had children together, and then they went through all of the usual things that long-term couples like that go through. They've been through every life crisis that there is to go through together. But they always had their children as the focus of their relationship. They always had their children really as a distraction from being a couple. And they could justify it. They could absolutely justify it. Well, you know, the kids need this and the kids need that, and we're the parents. That's our job. We have to supply it. We brought these kids here. They didn't ask to be here. So it's our job to do this. And then a year turns into 5, turns into 10, turns into 20, and now the kids are graduating. The kids are now 18 and 20, and they're leaving home to establish their own lives, as they should be. That's exactly what they should be doing if you've done your job well as parents. They're supposed to leave the nest. Problem is, once they leave the nest, now you've actually got to face your mate. And you haven't done that since the babies came. You haven't done that. In fact, I'll go a step further and say a lot of times, you haven't even looked at yourself in all that time. I talked to one woman on the phone once and asked her what I thought was a very simple question. I asked her what her favorite ice cream was. And she immediately launched into, well, my husband doesn't this and my children don't that, so I usually buy blah, and she went on, and I let her go on. And when she finally stopped, I asked her again. And, well, I said, my husband doesn't and my children don't. And, She didn't even hear me. It didn't even register with her that I was asking about her. So when I finally got her to focus on that for a moment, she had to think about it. She didn't know. When you talk to, I won't say that. I'll say me. I'll keep this about me because that's what I know. When I have talked to men who are focused on their families and who are on the hamster wheel, you all know what hamster wheel I'm talking about. When they are on that wheel doing the thing, making it happen, going through the motions, making sure those bills get paid, making sure the house stays right, making sure everybody's in place the way they should, making sure that they can have and do those things that they should have and do, those things that they believe are going to give them a great life, usually a better life than they had, because that's what most men in families strive for, and they spend their most productive years putting a whole lot of energy into that. And then they get to a point when the kids are leaving home that they have to think about what to do next, because they haven't considered that part. They just kind of got into this flow You know, this is what I do. This is the husband, this is the father, that's what I do. And then when the grands show up, I'll keep doing that for them. And they stay on the hamster wheel. All of this busy. And no progress. You know how I know there's no progress? Because wherever there's progress, there's growth. And wherever there is growth, there is discomfort. Sometimes there's even pain. But you can't polish a diamond without grit. We are here to be brilliant in and of ourselves, apart from everybody else we're connected to, apart from our spouses, apart from our children, apart from our parents, apart from the co-workers and the business partners and the neighbors and the friends, apart from all of those. You know, I heard a really interesting statistic today too, that in order for you to be born exactly who you are, to the parents that you were born to, with the exact DNA that you have, once you throw in all of those variables, the odds that you would be born exactly who you are right now are 1 in 400 trillion. Still wondering if you're here on purpose? You could have been one of 400 trillion other people, and you're not. Irrespective of what you believe or don't believe, that's got to resonate somewhere, that there's nothing accidental about your presence here. And that your gifts, your talents, your abilities, the way that whatever it is that makes your heart sing is not an accident. And that's why you're here, because that song is a song that only your heart can sing. And until you free your heart to sing it, we'll never get to dance to your music. We need you. We need you and your music. So don't make the mistake of thinking that love is a luxury, because it's not. It's why you're here. Hi, Nadine. I see what you mean. Women get lost in being a mommy and a wife. It's so true. Thank you, Monica. I'm glad this is speaking to you. I really want to impress this on you as much as I can while I can. You know, at this stage of my life, I find myself really much more protective about my time, because even if everything goes well and I continue to take care of myself, which I think I am, I continue to take care of myself and everything goes well and I stay healthy, I'll be 55 years old in May. So even if everything goes well, I still have, just statistically, I'm probably not going to get 55 more years. So that means I've already crossed the halfway mark. And that means I've only got now. That means I've got more yesterdays than I do tomorrows. That'll make you change the way you spend your time. Once you accept that and believe that and you honor that unapologetically, honor it. Do what makes your heart sing while your heart still has a song. Don't allow yourself to be buried with your music still in you. Please, don't do that. We've seen too many generations do exactly that. Most of you in my peer group watched our parents do exactly that. They gave up the song in their heart for what they believed was the best thing for their families. They turned themselves into martyrs, pursuing the family dream that they thought they were put here for. They did that. They did that for our survival. They did that for our growth and development. They did that so we could sing the song that they shut down for themselves. Please sing the song and know that your song is based on a melody of love. Stop hiding from love. Stop fearing love. Stop shielding your heart. Stop shutting down your feelings. Stop approaching love as if you're trying to defend yourself. You know what? Love is it's not going to be convenient. It's not going to be easy. It's going to get messy sometimes. But you know what? Your heart is built for it. Your heart is built for it. The same divinity that made you 1 in 400 trillion gave you a heart that can love as long as you breathe. You just have to believe it and live like it. Please, please don't shut down the song in your heart. You're the only one who can sing it. And you just never know, once you let go of the melody, who else is going to be dancing to your tune? Who else is going to be freed by your symphony? You don't know. But find out. Find out. Do it and just watch what happens. Watch the miraculous, amazing, magnificent ways that it comes back to you that you never imagined. That you never imagined. And that would never exist if you hadn't just taken the leap. Just take it. Love where you can, when you can, every chance you get, full out, like you've never been hurt before. Love like that. Yes, Verge. Yep, my parents did it and I did it too. Teaching my kids to do better for themselves. Well, trying to teach them. Keep trying, Verge. Keep trying. Don't stop trying, honey. Don't. Keep trying. You're doing it. You're resonating with them in ways that you may never know about. And they're going to let you know it in ways that you never expected. Keep trying. It is the only fight worth fighting. The fight for authenticity, the fight for love, the fight to be who you were divinely constructed to be. Be that. In human history, there hasn't been anyone else who could do what you do. And there never will be again. So make the most of it. Love all you can. Love while you can. Don't allow yourself to be buried with the best of you, still unlived, unloved, and unrealized. It's not necessary. You don't have to. And I really hope you don't choose to. And whatever you do, stop blaming other people for whatever went wrong in your life. Whatever went wrong. And I'm not minimizing any tragedy that you've had to overcome, because we all have tragic stories. We all have things that we had to get over or get around or get through that many of us are still getting over and getting around and getting through. But guess what? We're still getting over and getting around and getting through. We're still here to do that. So that means we can do that. That means we are doing that. As long as we choose to do that, we have to keep choosing to do that. So whatever area of your life you are shrinking, especially where you shrink your heart, well, you know, nobody in my family ever had a happy relationship. Well, you know, I have this sorry relationship history. Well, you know, men don't. Well, you know, women can't. Well, you know, You are your own statistics. You make your own reality. Your conditioning is not relevant. The only thing that shapes your life are the choices that you make. The choices that you make. Not the ones your parents made. Not the ones your children make. Not the one your spouse makes. Not the ones your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your bae, your boo. None of that. None of it. It's all about you. It's all about you. If you're miserable in your relationship, that's about you. No matter what your partner is doing. And I've been in my share of miserable relationships before. So I'm not saying that from a place of a person who's never suffered or who's never been hurt by a loving relationship. But you know what? One choice that I made several years ago, and I'm really kind of sorry that it took me so long to make it, but the one thing I realized was really simple math. And no matter how many times I had my heart broken, there was still a lot more men who had never broken my heart. Go figure, right? Go figure. There's still millions of other men who never broke my heart. And they don't deserve to be punished in some way for something that they didn't do. Because here's what I know for sure. That if they did that to me, I'd be heated. I would be warm. If they were holding it against me, what other women did before I even showed up, I'd be warm about that. That would be an issue. that would definitely be an issue. So I just made the decision. It's a choice. It wasn't something I felt like doing. I did it by force. But I did it. And it changed my life in ways that I never anticipated. It showed up in other relationships. It showed up in the way that other people respond to me. It shows up whether I'm in a relationship or not in a relationship. Because it changed the way I see my place in the world. And once that happened, everything was possible again. Love was possible again. Life was possible again. Laughter was possible again. You know, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. I'm just saying, love like you've never been hurt before. Otherwise, it's not love. It's manipulation. But that's another video. Just so you know, next month, I'm going to do a 7-day challenge with you guys. So if you can hang with me for 7 days, I'm putting the nuts and bolts of it together now. I'm just going to launch it in April. It's going to be 7 days of satisfillment. So I hope you join me for it. And there will be a Facebook group. And there will be 7 days of stuff to do. And I'll be doing Facebook Lives in there and all that kind of stuff. So you'll be able to join me. And we'll have some fun. And there will be music and dancing and activities. And we'll make a community out of it. We'll get to know each other a little better. And it'll be 7 days of satisfaction. So I hope you join me there. And thanks for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being so supportive. And I'll be reading your comments again later. But right now it's a little cold. So I'm going to go get warm right about now. And I'll be back again. I'll try not to let so much time pass before the next time I do a Facebook Live. But I really appreciate you guys coming, and I'll talk to you soon. I love you totally. Bye-bye.